All right, welcome to another Small Business Pivots where we invite guests from around the world to help our small business owners with insights, tips, instructions, do's, don'ts, and everything else to help them grow their business. And today we have another special guest from around the world, but I only know that the business owner can pronounce their name and their business like the business owner can. So I let you introduce yourself as you want to be introduced.
Thanks, Michael. Scott Jarrett, CEO, co-founder or founder of Invst, and we're really a financial company that works with people to help money work for them. We really love entrepreneurs, entrepreneurship journey, helping business owners get what they want out of their business and actually be able to live the life that they want. That's what Invst is all about. That's what we do, and I think your audience is wanting that as well. So I thought this would be a good time for us to have a chat.
Absolutely. Well, the last thing they want is a job, but most of them have created a job. So, how do you think we're going to help our listeners best today in just a short summary?
Yeah, exactly. Just over broke, right? A job. So,
yep, that's right.
It's not you. A lot of entrepreneurs created a basically low paying job for themselves as they work because they're the last ones to get paid. And so, hopefully, you can bring some intentionality to not running that way for yourself.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we're going to introduce the show. We'll be right back. Welcome to Small Business Pivots, a podcast produced for small business owners. I'm your host, Michael Morrison, founder and CEO of Boss, where we make business ownership simplified for success. Our business is helping yours grow. Boss offers business loans with business coaching support. Apply in minutes and get approved and funded in as little as 24 to 48 hours at businessownershipsimplified.com. All right, welcome back to Small Business Pivots. My friend, most of us have a journey in life. We didn't just come out the womb wealthy. So some of us had trials and tribulations growing up, but I know for our listeners, they kind of like to know what got you to where you are today. So anything interesting happened growing up that kind of led you down this path?
I thought you nailed it. Pivots. Yeah, there was a lot of pivots in my life that realized that what I was doing wasn't the life that I wanted to live. And for me, I grew up very poor. We were in Section 8 housing, and I just remember always chasing money because I felt like that was what was the reason why we were in that situation. And I just never wanted to feel that way anymore. So I was like, what you said, pivots, we call them hacks, future hacks. Like, how do you hack something to get to what you want? And I was always hacking things in my life or pivoting, as you will, to create a life that I wanted that was different than the life that I currently was. So I think a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs are almost in that way, trying to solve something that goes back to their past of something that they're really trying to work for. So for me, it was the financial security that I was searching for. And I felt like that's what I wanted to do. So throughout the career of getting to what is now called Invst was a series of pivots, hacks, shortcuts of things that I learned along the way to say, oh my gosh, I just created the best business for myself, which was the thing that I was searching for. And I felt like, well, if I was searching for it, then others maybe as well. And if I could add value to that process for helping people get to what they want, then maybe they'll pay me for that service. And that literally was how the company was started.
How old is your company?
Well, shoot, we started in 2003, so we're now 22 years old. Or 2005, yeah, 20, yeah. So yeah, getting up there, man.
Wow. Yeah. Well,
yeah, I know I look like I'm 12, but
yeah, I was gonna. Well, okay. Thank you for saying that for me.
Yeah,
you got that out of the way for all of us.
yes.
Well, what were some of those early pivots that you had to make? Because most of us, or maybe you got lucky, maybe the first day you just came out, we're wealthy all of a sudden. But what were some of those early journeys that you learned that you had to pivot from to create a successful business and find what you were looking for?
So for me, I was an entrepreneur at the age of 12, whether I wanted to or not. But where I grew up, there was really nowhere to make anything. It was living in an environment where the more you work, the less money you get from the government. And so I started as a paper route. So my first pivot was, this sucks, literally.
Yeah.
How do I make money? And I was like, let me get a paper route. I don't even know how you do that today because I don't think you can even get a paper route. But at least I was born in America and I could go create for myself. So one of the first things that I learned to pivot was, hey, you can get up every morning, you can work hard, you're born in the right country, and you can make yourself better. So the first pivot was, I'm going to go do this, and I started figuring out that, hey, I can be an entrepreneur at whatever age and start to figure stuff out for myself. And it was just a series of those things, putting myself in a better environment every single time. And but I learned that at a young age, but I didn't realize that what I was doing was designing the life that I wanted. I just wasn't intentionally about it. I just knew that this didn't feel right. How do I get to the next thing? So the big thing is that you should just try it. And the thing is, if you don't take that huge jump, if you don't take that leap of faith in yourself, then where are you going to be? Because really, what I've learned in the wealth management space is it's not your money that's your most important asset. It's actually you, and you being better than where you were yesterday. So when you fall down, how about fall forward and keep becoming the better version of you? And that actually is the secret to success. It's the disciplines and the things you're doing to get to something. And it's those obstacles and those things that you fall down on are the actual root thing that you solve that actually creates a better business. But if you don't try it, if you don't put yourself out there and take the more risky path, because sometimes the more risky path is actually the right path, it's actually the less risky, where you've been taught your whole life that, hey, being a business owner is risky, signing on debt is risky. Well, maybe staying where you are is more risky. So if you read these books on survival, like the people that don't take action die. The ones that get out,
Yeah.
they take action. So there's something to say about taking massive action. And if you bet on yourself, I'd rather bet on myself than someone else. So there's your pivot.
Yeah. Well, I love it. And I guess one of the big topics is growth mindset versus fixed mindset. Is that born behavior? Is it instinct? What is it? Was that something you had to work at? I know you said you wanted out of that old lifestyle, but some people just seem to be bigger risk takers than others. And so that kind of goes with that growth mindset of how can I make this better? But did you have to work hard at that?
Yeah, mindset's everything. Mind over money. So my first book that I wrote, Future Hack, which was a Wall Street bestseller, was that your mind is bigger than your money. 100%. So there's two kinds of people in the world. I think you nailed it. Like you're saying, there's people that think, I think, what'd you say, static, or they think
Yeah.
like growth mindset versus non-growth mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I would frame it is there's people that live in scarcity and there's ones that live in abundance. So abundance is a growth mindset mentality where what that means is that all resources are plentiful. I can do whatever I wish. Meaning I can help others and they will pay it back. Scarcity to say, well, if I do good, I have to hoard it because this is what I got to live with. So what happens, it actually stunts your growth mindset because you're living in a scarce world where resources aren't plentiful. So you got what's mine is mine. If you're successful, I'm losing. So when you live in Section 8 housing and in subsidized thing, the whole environment is about non-growth. It's about bare, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, self-actualization. At the bottom is like, what do I need? And that's where we live. So if we live in this world of scarce resources versus a world of abundance, all that is a mindset saying, you know what? If I'm winning, other people too. If they're winning, good for them. How can I help? So like you're in Oklahoma City, I'm in Indiana. There was a play there where our player walked in, the guy got up and got his face. It was the two more unathletic guys, if you would.
Yeah.
And what they do, they gave each other high fives and went back to the free throw line. To me, that's abundant. A lot of times you'll see, oh, you just hit my ego. I want to fight you. What that was two guys that were grinding that had to work really hard to be where they are in the NBA. And they dapped each other up and went and hit free throws, like, because they were acting out of abundance in that world versus, oh, you can't do that to me, create this whole issue and all that, which to me, that's like you're trying to protect your ego and your manhood or whatever. That's a scarcity mentality that probably was passed down multiple generations to that person. We got these other two that were like, you know what, I've had to scrap and fight for every little thing I got. I'm less athletic. I can't jump as high. I can't do certain things, but man, I'm going to give that guy some mad respect. Those are the kind of little things that why that guy's going to get that sponsorship and maybe that thing and the crowd favorite versus the other one that's acting out of scarcity. So since we're on basketball and that's where both of our teams are playing each other right now, but to me, that was a very clear vision of what that was in sports because we love sports. I believe that is where you can create an equal playing field with a set of rules and you can play and compete against each other. But you'll find ones that are abundant versus scarcity in the highest level of sport, no different than every day that we show up in our business.
Absolutely. And for those, because I don't know when they're listening to this, what we're referring to is the 2025 NBA Finals. Both of our teams from our cities are in the finals. It's going to game 6. So just to get everybody up to date, since we don't know when they're watching this, I want to go to your website real quick because it says on the very first page or on the about, I want for everyone what I thirsted for myself. How did you get what you wanted?
Yeah. By being clear in my head of what life would look like somewhere else. So once again, if you go back to living in somewhere like where you don't really have TV, you don't have these things. So you had to be in a dark room, essentially sitting there go, what would a life look like that I'd want to be? Today, they call that meditation, like first world problems. Like, how do you meditate about what your life would look like? So the basic fundamental belief is you have to imagine it. So once you start to imagine what your life would look like, now you got to speak it the truth. Who are you going to tell? Because right now it's not even actual happening. So once you start to say, you know what, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to play football in college. Okay. So I said, that's what I'm going to do. And what did I do? I did that. I want to be an entrepreneur. Michael, want to be an entrepreneur. I just spoke it the truth. Yeah. So it's here. Now I'm telling you what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to put in a massive action and take action on it. That was literally my life. I want to do this paper out. I need money. I'm doing it. Oh, I have money. I'm going to hire other people to do it for me because I really don't want to do the work. Oh, guess what? Yeah. Now I'm going to do a carpet cleaning business. In my head. Now I'm doing this. Why? Now I'm not going to do it. I know I need to get out of this environment. How am I going to do it? I'm going to play football. So I'm going to now tell someone I'm going to go play football. I made a decision. So it's that moment of decision and massive action towards something that got me out of those situations every single time.
I love that because I also know for a lot of entrepreneurs, sometimes they just can't think it. So I encourage them to do something. For instance, I ran my very first marathon this year. But last year, when I said I'm going to run a marathon, I could have been thinking that for a long time. But what I did was I signed up for the marathon and I paid my $200. So now it's official. And then I posted it online, looking forward to my first. So now I've committed to the world that, dang, I got to run a marathon now. So
can't get out of it.
Yeah. So like I hope that encourages people. Yeah.
I signed up for that. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, tell us about your books.
So the books were actually really important for me to reflect on my journey. And it was hard to do the books, quite honestly, because I never was really about myself. I was about serving others. And the book was very hard for me to tell my story. It was very hard for me to talk about things in the past because I was really focused on the future. But what the books did for me was it allowed me to be able to put, once again, these things in my head on paper and then create them into action. And then other people started to read them and they said, hey, Scott, by the way, can you help me do this? And it's like the teacher becomes better at their profession when they actually teach. And even though I was in the money business as helping people get wealthy, where my game took to the next level is when I started to think about it, speak it the truth, put it on paper, and share it with the world. And now those products and services got even better through writing books. Even though I can't write, even though I'm about as illiterate as it gets, like I definitely did not get any good grades at all in school, especially in English.
Yeah. I think we share that. Yeah, I think we share that skill. I was the same way, but getting it out on paper really released a lot of insecurities, or at least for me, it did. and
Yeah.
improved a lot of areas of my life. Tell us about, so one of the things you talk about is the 10 most important things to do or steps to success for a business owner. Share a few of those with us so other business owners can learn.
Would love that. The books to me too, there's two books when you ask about that. There's Future Hack. So Future Hack is a simple solution to the common problem. The common problem is living the life that you want. So in that book would be one of the first most important things to know is that you are your most important asset. And that book was more about understanding how to overcome to get to something that you want. It talks about scarcity and abundance. It talks about the agendas of other people against you. It talks about playing don't hate the game.
Yeah.
don't hate the player, hate the game type of thing. It's the haters are going to hate. There's a lot of stuff in there that are like the 10 chapters that make up that book are, in my opinion, the raw recipe to really design the life that you want. The second book, Accelerate, which is actually the operating system and the process in your financial life to give you the tools and disciplines and resources allowing you to overcome, to grow. Those are the two books. So when it comes to the 10 things that entrepreneurs need, it starts with you. If you can't get clear vision on what you want, your why, like how you're wired, then nothing's going to happen. I would say nothing's going to happen. The likelihood of you being the most successful is going to be hard because your passion and your why isn't coming out clearly. Because if you can show up every day and never tire from it and you get massive energy from doing that thing because it has purpose behind it, those are the things that really start to drive companies and movements forward.
Can you say that again? I'm being sarcastic, kind of, but not really, because I work with business owners, and when as a business coach, and when we start going through their purpose statement, vision, all that, they're like, I just want more sales. I'm like, you got to know where you're going first. So,
Yeah.
is there anything you can expand on that of how important that is?
Right. Sales is immeasurable. Vision is different.
You're listening to Small Business Pivots. This podcast is produced by my company, Boss. Our business is helping yours grow. Boss offers business loans with business coaching support. Apply in minutes and get approved and funded in as little as 24 to 48 hours at businessownershipsimplified.com. If you're enjoying this podcast, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and share it as well. Now let's get back to our special guest.
Sales is immeasurable. Vision is different. Now, the problem with what I think when you start focusing on your business growth is there's a parallel path. As your business goes, you go. So, for instance, let's say we're at our age today, we want to start a business and we go and start this new business. Well, don't we have children? Do we have families to support? So your business outcome is going to have a very direct link to your personal life. They are on equal sides. So when I started mine, I didn't have any money anyway. It was like, oh, I mean, I had a paycheck, but I didn't have any other responsibilities. Like if I didn't eat, cool. It wasn't like I had a child that didn't eat,
Right.
which changed the game a little bit. So the thing is these parallel paths are equally important. But the thing that we don't focus on the vision for the business is really you as a person. So and you just said it really well, like you basically got a low paying job for yourself, or you just create a job. So now you went from a human, you're still a human doer, but you really want to be a human being. So what are you going to become? So there's 8 questions that you need to ask yourself personally to be able to create your why. That in the why, the business is just one more thing inside of that. In the book Accelerate, what it does, it pulls out that why for you. So if you're not completely clear on your why, then the business's outcome has to be in parallel with that.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, my values in my personal life are also the corporate key values of my business. The people I do business with, the who's that are accountable to my success, should share the same values that I have as a person. Like you can never do a good deal with a bad person.
Right.
So now you're trying to build a business without being clear who you are. you're not going to make, it's not going to work because you've got a DNA, the business has a DNA, but if you're the visionary, the founder of it, you're going to get stuck along the way, and you're going to have to make key decisions on people inside the organization, scorecarding, like what you said, like, I just want to make more money. Of course. Why? Well, why do you want to make more money?
Yeah.
Because I want more money. For what? Oh, well, because mama wants some new shoes. You want status. You want to, like, most successful entrepreneurs, the most successful, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, they give it all away anyway. So the purpose becomes different. So what you actually are discovering about yourself is you want freedom. What everyone that walks into our office, they're looking for freedom. They want freedom of their money. They want freedom of their time. They want freedom to spend it with the relationships they love and their bigger purpose. So when they come into your office, they're saying, "Oh, I just want more sales." Yeah, that's not how it works, buddy. Because what happens is value. If you add value to the world, money traces value. So if you go, "I just want more sales," but you're not focused on value creation, build the value, and then people will trade value and money together. You got to reinvent the way you position yourself, the vision of the company, which will be in alignment with your why.
Some people just want to impact a nonprofit cause, and they're just as successful as someone like me or you that wants freedom, financial freedom, or to be able to travel or something like that. So it's a little different for everybody. So I totally agree with that. So how does your business Invst help people?
Invst, that's why I wear the shirt proud. It's a symbol that it stands for helping you make money work for you so you can live the life you want. What Invst does, it works for business owners and entrepreneurs to get you completely clear on exactly what you want. And what we do is we have 6 core principles that are designed to last the test of time. And we have proven processes that will help you do that. What we do differently than most financial services firms is that we help you discover what you want. We're going to educate you versus telling you what to do. It's like teaching the student how to fish. You got to fish. I can give you all the fish you want until you can start to catch it yourself, because we really actually want to add value to you. And I'm not afraid and abundantly that you're going to go do it yourself. That's actually a win for us. It's a win when you become more, you keep growing. Now there's another level of what we can help you with. So when we work with billion-dollar families, they've just overcome a lot more. They have more problems at the billion-dollar range than they did when they weren't there. Feels the same. There's first world problems and there's other problems. But to me, it doesn't matter. It's the same journey that you're going on. They went on the same journey, their journey, but it was a similar journey. A lot of these paths forward. So Invst is the actual solution to what you're searching for, because it's not just about the business. It's you as your most important asset. And the business is only one more line item on your personal balance sheet. And then the business comes out, it has an operating system, your personal operating system together working is what moves you faster into the future to get exactly what you want.
I've worked with business owners before, and very few of them have a dollar amount as their goal. But for those that do, when they reach that, they almost always tell me, "I thought I would feel differently," versus people that understand their why. When they hit that, whatever that barrier is, they go, "Now I want to go do this." Like they always have a next versus, "I thought I would feel differently."
There's always another level to success. And until you can articulate what that is, then you never have any peace of mind. The biggest problem with business owners are, like, you literally have to train your time systems well. You have to have gratitude every day. And if you don't, then you're never going to live the life that you want, because you're now attached to it. You're always chasing the next success. That's why you got to have gratitude. You got to be grateful for what happened before to move forward. There's simple tools and things to go. I've met with some of the most successful, most miserable people that are richer than you can imagine.
Yes.
And they are still striving for this next thing, but they've never lived. They don't live.
Yep.
They live in their thing because they're fighting for something that's based on their DNA, maybe in their past. It's a money persona or something that's happened that they're afraid of. Like me, I don't want to go back, so I'm going to work my butt off and I'm going to outwork everything. Why? Because I don't ever want to have to go back to that situation. I don't want to be in a scarcity minded situation. I get that. But at the end of the day, I also wanted a good family. I wanted a good relationship with my spouse. I wanted my kids to like me. Now, what we have to do is get them in the train of mind and say, all right, you're dead. You died today. Tell me exactly what people are saying about you at your funeral. Were you a good person? Do they love you? Go through the list. And if there's things in there that you don't want them to say about you, why? Did you live a life of purpose? Was it there? But you don't ever get in that mindset until someone puts you in the mindset. Because now you got to start thinking about your thinking and get real clear and intentional of what you want. And then once you start to get clear on, oh, these are the things that I want to happen. Now the question is, why do you have to wait a lifetime to do it? Why can't we do it do it now? But until you can get real clear and intentional with what that is, then it's going to be very difficult for you to design the life you want because you can't get in the framework because you're too busy doing versus being.
A lot of business owners get stuck. And what I mean by that, what we find is they're usually the bottleneck of the business. They're working in the business, as they say, not on the business. But there's only so much time in the day. Did you run into any of those stuckness times in your business to where I don't know how I can grow this business because I'm having to do so much and I can't take the time to hire people or whatever it was? Did you run into any things like that?
Every single day. And what that is, that's scarcity leaking in. The more successful you are, the more scarcity circumstances happen, the most successful the ones that can get out of it faster. Mm-hmm. No one can do this job better than me. No one can do this, so I have to go do this role. Well, why would anyone be able to do it? You built the dang thing, so who's going to do it better than you?
Right. You created it and you didn't tell anybody how to do what you're doing.
Yeah. So do you have process? Do you have clear vision? Do you have clear accountability? Most of the problems that I have is not accountability. You're building something without process. Process should run companies, not people. So the process is, and then how do you hold people accountable to the process? And so a lot of it's just execution and accountability. And us as visionaries, typically that's our weakest spot because we see the best in everything and we're pushing over here. We act off of emotion typically than you do logic. And so you need to have the logic inside you to be able to circumvent that, to be able to scale and grow the business. And so I literally was in meetings all day Monday because once you grow, if you have a 10 times growing company, 10x, we grew 80% last year, you hit what's called a ceiling of complexity. That the things that got you here is not going to get you past that. It's going to hit and it's going to bounce off. The question is how fast can you reinvent yourself to get back through? And most of the businesses you're listening to right now probably will be non-existent in the next 3 years, primarily because the world's moving faster than they are. Meaning there's AI and technology that will erase it. Like literally, I just had an AI bookkeeper in that will eliminate bookkeeping services. There's no bookkeeping services again. Like what we can do on the AI bookkeeping stuff is I don't see why there would be a need for that. We would do so much more volume just on this stuff than what you could elsewhere.
Yeah.
Now those services are going to be they're going to be gone. Financial services. Why would someone buy your investment strategy when I can build an algo that actually follows the trend of the market? We're seeing much better results on algo trading than we are in traditional buy and hold evidence-based strategies. So why would someone do business in this way versus this? So even in our world, it could change dramatically overnight. That's evolution. So that ceiling complexity, you got to reinvent yourself, but the process becomes the product and you build out through that. And that's how you keep the business relevant and scaling. So the way you do that is you got to get your leadership team together, really get clear vision and get everyone bought in on what my 3-year outcome is going to be. We got to start looking at things in 3 years. And what are our 3 uniques? What are the things that we're building here in this company? And we got to get it followed by all. And if we don't, then it's going to become you having to fill these seats because you don't have great leadership inside the organization that's filling out the rest of the verticals that are scaling the companies to success.
Do you think it's a subjective answer, but do you think a business owner can think 3 years out now with how fast technology is evolving? because there's so much that could change between now and 3 years. Used to, as a business coach, we would help people figure out their next 10 years, because technology just wasn't changing. Businesses were evolving, but now technology is evolving and businesses aren't keeping up. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, you probably should start thinking 2 years. You have to think out. 10 years for me is like really BHAG stuff, like big, hairy, audacious goals. So our 10 years, like how do you have 1 million people reaching financial freedom? In traditional sense, one advisor can only handle 100 households. So when you say, I want 1 million doing this, running through the system to get financial freedom, the first thing you say in your head is, I can't do that. It's impossible. What do we need to do in the next 3 years to get to that outcome? Like what has to happen? Because you're trying to solve this huge problem up here. The thing is it's not solvable. And for most people can't comprehend what that would look like in today's environment. What does that mean? You got to reinvent yourself. If I could get to here in 3 years, what would it look like? Now, if you can get a leadership team thinking that way and solving that problem, then you're going to go, what are we going to do in the next 90 days to chop away at this by the 1 year? So you're taking this 10-year goal and you're breaking it down into small pieces. And you're saying daily action is now moving me through to the annual, to the 3 year, to the 10 year. And that gets more clear as you get closer. So in Future Hack, we talk about lifetime extension. Like if you're on a rowboat and you see the horizon and you keep going closer, what happens? You're moving towards it, but it still stays out there in the distance. There might be an object, as you get closer, you start to see more clarity. So what we're training the business owner, the visionary to do is start thinking about yourself differently, look out in 10, but 3 years is something that you can actually do. But you're right. Technology is happening so fast, so my 10-year might actually be able to happen in 6 months.
Yeah.
So Elon Musk would say, why wait 10 years to build a company if we could do it in 6 months? And he's got a pretty good track record of that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, how can people follow you best?
I would say you can go to my website, scottjared.com, and you could sign up for a one-on-one consultation, which would be a great way. You could go on, I'm on Instagram and LinkedIn, all the different social stuff. We have a newsletter that goes out every Saturday because that's when I typically read stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can get on that list. So if you send me you can send me a DM. You can send me an email at scott@invst.com, and I can add you to that. I can send you if I listen to the webinar, I have a giveaway. I can give you the Accelerate book to help you reach financial freedom, and I can give you access to our game board, which will help you really get clarity on, are you on track or off track to having financial success?
Fantastic.
Those are some freebies I can give you out, but that would be the best way to do it. So if you just hit an email, scott@invst.com, say, hey, give me the freebies from the Big Boss podcast. That'd be great.
Is there anything that we haven't covered that you feel like I really want to say this or share this?
There's actual rules to success. There's patterns, there's frameworks. There's operating systems for your business, operating systems for your personal life. We have both of those. We can shortcut it for you. And if you need help, we're here to help. I don't care about your checkbook. I don't care about where you are. If you're abundant minded and you want to win, we can help you. But the simplest thing I could tell you is just hang out with the right people and read a lot of books. And it's really those are the two things that you're around. And if you find the one person that can help you get there faster, those are the people you want in your inner circle. And I believe Invest is that place for business owners and entrepreneurs.
Fantastic. Well, you've been a blessing to many and a wealth of information. I appreciate your time today, and I'm sure our listeners do too. I encourage each and every one of you to go follow Scott and look up his website. He does have a lot of things that can help you before you even talk to him. So I encourage everyone to do that. Thank you again, Scott.
Thanks so much, Michael.
My pleasure. Thank you for listening to Small Business Pivots. This podcast is created and produced by my company, Boss. Our business is growing yours. Boss offers flexible business loans with business coaching support. Apply in minutes and get approved and funded in as little as 24 to 48 hours at businessownershipsimplified.com. If you're enjoying this podcast, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and share it as well. If you need help growing your business, email me at michael@michaeldmorrison.com. We'll see you next time on Small Business Pivots.